Welcome back, worthy restoration viewers. So today I'm in front of a car that's pretty special and close to my heart. I've done a fair bit of work on this particular vehicle. It actually was the front cover of Unique Cars here in Australia. That's one of the premium car magazines that get sold nationally, and it had a 6-page spread on it. So it's a well-known car. It's actually a rare combination LC GTR Torana. It's a General Motors product, and in Australia it's a General Motors Holden's product. There's another video that we'll need to do about the history of Holden's, but when I reference GMH, it just means the General Motors Holden product range of cars. When I received this car, the bodywork had been done on it. So when I do get cars sent to me, the bodywork may need to be done. It may need a full rotisserie restoration, or the bodywork's done and it just needs reassembly, or it needs the engine put back in it as well, along with some other mechanical things that I need to check. So every single car is different, and every customer's budget is different as well. We've got to manage expectations. These vehicles are still over 50 years old, and even when I finish, things go wrong with them because they've got 50-year-old parts in them, and some of them break and fail and you need to replace them, which isn't easy locating those parts. So a bit more about this particular vehicle. It's a Brisbane built. So I've referred to in my previous videos a few cars that have been built around Australia. The actual main manufacturing hub was here in Adelaide for a lot of Holden's products. But they did for some time produce some cars up in Brisbane, which is north of Australia, heading towards the tropics. And they did do some reassembly in Melbourne, which is a little bit lower than where Adelaide is, where we are now. And they did some final finishing off for these particular cars there for a period of time. I received this car, it was a roller, so the bodywork's been done on it, but the interior wasn't in and the running gear wasn't in this vehicle, and there was obviously things that needed to be finished off on it that weren't done, putting the stainless steel trims on, for example, and putting the interior back together. So approximately when you rebuild one of these cars, it's around about 200 to 280 man hours to put everything back together if I've got it all lined up. This one had obviously had some of that done, and you'll see some of that in some of the pictures that we'll show you. I do love this particular vehicle because it's pretty much all original. It's a matching numbers car as far as the tags are concerned and the chassis number. However, it has a period month correct engine in it. It's not unusual for these cars to have their engines replaced or lost, or they detonated and they're no good anymore. So it's quite common to find cars that don't have the original engine in it. This one's a 161 cubic inch engine in it, and what that means is it's around about a 2.8 litre 6-cylinder. It's not a massive 6-cylinder engine, and it produced around about 100 horsepower, so it's not going to be setting any land speed records. But in this particular car, because of the curb weight, which is around just over 1,000 kilos, it moved them along quite nicely. Interesting fact about these cars is they also had core suspension all around, which was reasonably ahead of its time for this particular vehicle. They started production on the LC Torana range from 1969, late 1969, until the end of 1971. These weren't expensive cars to buy, but they were moderately priced, and they came with a lot of options, and they were just easy to use and easy to drive and very, very reliable and built for Australian conditions. So this particular engine has been reconditioned, the heater box has been redone, the wiper motor's done, the brakes have been completely changed over, new brake lines, new master cylinder. Lots of things on this are now correct. There's still a couple of small things that I want to go through and finish off in the car, but it's basically done. It's a driver now, and ironically it actually is for sale. If you're interested in the car, it's not my vehicle, But if you're interested in the car, you can certainly reach out via the comments section in YouTube and I can put you in contact with the owner. It just sits here. It's a finished off, fully restored vehicle. What I'll finally take you through is the interior. The interior is a unique color. It's an antique gold color. And when I say antique gold, it's a color that I haven't really seen too much of. When you were purchasing these vehicles back in the 60s and 70s, you had a massive choice of colors to choose from as far as the actual outside of the car is concerned, and also the inside of the car as well. There's a reasonably famous story that one of the GM magnates came over from the US and bought their wife, and their wife in the late 60s started working on some of the interiors and the design of these cars, and that's where you see a radical change from the very mundane colors of the cars previous to this model to all of these particular colors that you see in front of me now. There's some amazing colors and there's a huge amount that you haven't seen, but the interiors were quite unique as well. They had varying patterns that you could choose from. For example, houndstooth, which is a fabric cloth trim, and also many different vinyl aspects as well. This is a rare combination. It's called Daytona Bronze, which is the outside color, the metallic color of the car, and the interior is an antique gold. Very unique combination. And if you go online, you have a look on Google, you actually find original photos of this particular car, this style of car with this interior, which is how I managed to also reference a lot of information about the vehicle to get it right and get it back to what it was meant to look like. So, you know, a quick tour on these LC Toranas, and I do value a lot of time on the LC and LJ range that people come and approach me for, because it is a very limited production run of vehicle, but it's also a lot of parts in these cars were used in other models that Holden made. It's only when you start working on those Holden models that you realise that Holden didn't spend a huge amount of money on research and development, swapping out parts. They applied all those parts to different models and then made it look like something else. And I find a lot of that as I work through the model range. I actually build a few different models. The next video that you'll see after this one will be the HK GDS Monaro that I built. It was a 1968 model. Again, it was a roll, the bodywork was done, and we'll be taking you through that one down the track. So go check out that video. What I want you to do is like, comment, and subscribe. Enjoy.